from Studio A at 1 Biloxi Square in Fort Worth, Texas. Welcome in to the Grandpa and Pappy Show as we end a brand new, or another week together.
Yeah.
I can't say brand new. It's
Still-
already happened.
Still the same old week.
It's still early, and we're still going through thunderstorms here
Oh man.
in Cowtown, USA.
Yeah. Got a little wet. Got a little wet out at the flats too.
Yeah. A lot of thunderstorms, a lot of rain.
Yep.
Thank God, no hail. So we're doing pretty good, I guess.
Well, I'm stocked up on getting hail. So.
A lot of things going on in the land of the free and home of the brave. Another shooting up in Minnesota, and that one's going to be turning into a controversial one.
Yeah.
So if you haven't followed the news, you might want to do that, because I don't want to make it sound like I'm being partial or anything. But once you see the uncut video, you'll know why police took action that they took.
All they were doing is following protocol.
That's exactly right. And you would know a lot better than I.
Well, I mean, that's the way they were trained.
Yeah,
That's what they
you
were
in
trained
law
to do.
enforcement, so
So,
I can only imagine what these men and women in blue and our first responders and our military go through. I just have no idea.
well, and I doubt very seriously that anyone out here within the sound of our voice right now wouldn't have done the same thing if they were a peace officer.
That's correct.
So, that's all I got to say about that.
Well, the Democrats are at it again. They have introduced a bill in the House of Representatives to pack the Supreme Court from 9 judges to 13. They're going to be receiving a lot of opposition to that,
You think?
which leads us to what we're talking about today in one form or fashion.
Yeah.
Why is the Supreme Court not upholding our laws that are on the books right now? And as usual, you guys came up with some great answers, and we're going to be giving those to you. But I tell you, they just need to leave it alone. I mean, quit.
No.
They have a bill before the House of Representatives on not only the court packing, but also real strict, stringent gun laws and tax laws for those of us who own firearms. Why can't they just stop it? Just stop it. Address the things that are hurting our country, like the border, the southern border. Not getting any better. Not getting any better. As a matter of fact, Governor Abbott, or not Governor Abbott, I stand corrected. The Border Patrol told people in South Texas to get your guns ready, because they cannot control the flow anymore. It's just too much for them, and people are flooding across the river at alarming paces now, and cutting through ranches, leaving gates open, letting livestock get out, going into people's houses, things like this. So the Border Patrol said, you might ought to keep it locked and loaded. So anyway, it's really getting bad down there. And
Well, it's been bad down there for quite a while, but not to this extent. You know. I mean,
well, I agree.
I've still
I'm right there with
I've
you.
still got friends that I know through DHS that are patrolling that border.
Right.
And it's a lot worse than you'd
Man,
think.
I would not want their
a lot
job
worse than you think.
for nothing. I'm telling you, it was just because I don't have the patience.
Wow.
I don't have the patience, and I admit it. I admit it.
Somebody shoots at you, what you gonna do?
I'm gonna shoot
Shoot
until I
back.
ain't got nothing left in my clip.
You're gonna shoot back. And I
Absolutely.
guarantee you that those folks down in South Texas will shoot back.
Yeah, they will. They certainly will. They're Texans,
Yeah.
and Texans, they'll take it
Well,
till they can't take it no more. Then they come out guns a blazing.
they're country folk, is
Yes,
what they
sir.
are.
It's exactly
Damn,
right.
damn near hillbillies.
and really versed in the ways of the old country. Yeah,
They can dot a target, I imagine.
I'll bet you. Why is the Supreme Court not upholding our laws? Well,
Cricket noise.
let's just dive in. This actually was suggested to us by a friend of ours, Sherry Lipka. She gets really upset because the Supreme Court is not upholding the laws, And so she asked it, I posted it, and you guys came up with some great answers.
Great topic.
Yeah. Mark Turner said, that is a great question. Why are they not getting involved in the crisis at our borders? I thought there were immigration laws in place, but they are being ignored every day that we hold the borders open. So why are they there? To draw a lifetime paycheck? That too.
Cricket noise again. Bob Baker tells us that they're a part of the greater conspiracy to bring about the UN-mandated Agenda 21. Yeah, good point. Kim Stonecipher Morgan said they're being paid off by the leftist Democrats.
Which is very possible. Absolutely.
No telling what all's involved in that mess.
I agree. Yeah. David Watson told us it is because John Roberts is compromised. Blackmail, like 95% of Washington, D.C., is corrupted. Paul Edgar said maybe the deep state is much deeper than what we thought.
Yeah, deep too.
Attaboy, Paul. That's great. Greatness.
John Patrick Flynn said maybe it's time to review the standards of those serving on the Supreme Court. You never hear of anything they're doing these days, so what are they doing? My question is, can Supreme Court judge be removed from his or her office for not doing anything? No, because that's what they do. Yeah. Maybe you should look into that too. And I agree. I mean,
well, that's something that question needs to be asked.
Well,
and this whole country boy ain't got an answer for it, so.
Probably neither does the last person that asked that question.
That's true. John Underwood gave a logical answer to us when he said it is because the courts have become political activists instead of enforcing the laws by the book. A bunch of liberal hacks, I should say. Brian Horsham said they are scared and want voters for the next election. Bob Baker reminded Brian that Supreme Court justices are lifetime appointments, so there is no need for voters.
That is a fact, Bob.
That is correct.
I worked with a guy by the last name of Lindquist in Longview, and his brother is the Supreme Court Lindquist. So.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Look at you.
Strange family. Sandy Bennett Armistead says it is the money and blackmail. Russell Curlin said they are bought and paid for, and Darrell Stein said they are scared bunch of cowards.
Look at them. Well, that's that's kind of putting it right in the face of things, isn't it?
I think I need to slip a little by guide in behind that.
There you go.
Just a
you
quick,
got a Pappy by God on that one, yes, sir. Dale Kocher said it just goes to show you how crooked our country really is, and the people put in place. Mary Singleton agreed, saying, someone has a lot of dirt on somebody.
Yeah, you think?
Well, okay.
Well, once that cloud settles, we're going to find out who.
Yep.
Matt Bannister told us that it's a complex question that does not have a simple answer. I would need to know the specifics of what's in the question. The election, states' rights, the Second Amendment?
Well,
damn.
You know, Matt is a thinker.
Yeah, well,
you know, so
he knows what he's talking about.
He knows what he's talking about. Yeah, he does. Yeah. Kim Avery told us because they are a big part of the problem. Linda Tatum said they are scared. Margaret Redding asked, do they have a legislative body that looks over their body of work? Well, if not, they should.
Well, they do in the form of individuals, I'm sure.
Yeah. Ain't it so?
And by the way, Matt Bannister has pretty toenails. just thought I'd say. Eddie Dixon says it's...
Boy, where did that one come from? That was way out of left field.
Yeah. I miss the big galoot, okay?
He's a big man.
Yeah, he is. Eddie Dixon says it's because they're all threatened with their jobs. They were probably threatened with their careers, their family, and anything else the Democrats could think of.
I got to sit by this guy every day.
Oh, Lord.
I never know where he's coming out with things.
You haven't seen his toenails?
I haven't looked at his toenails.
Well, you should. They're beautiful.
Okay. I'll give you that one. Shirley Mills said it's because they're afraid to go against the Democrats and BLM.
Yeah.
What about immigration laws?
Yep.
Bob Baker came back to say if they had upheld the election laws, there would be no problem with the immigration laws.
That's a fact.
Well, Bob, you did it again. I mean, it makes too much sense.
I wouldn't even want to sit in and try to get a word in edgewise between him and Matt.
That would be an interesting conversation.
Just record it and walk away.
But it would be an educational
Oh, Lord, yeah.
conversation between those two. They think a lot. They put a lot of thought in what they say.
Kind of scary.
Yeah, it is scary.
Last but not least, Colin Bailey says that the Supreme Court should be held to the highest standards in the land. And that's why they're there, supposedly. If
they tell us.
Yeah, that's what I heard. If a president misbehaves, he can be impeached, and the same with any member of Congress. Why can't the justice of the Supreme Court be held to the same high standards?
Now, that is a really good question.
That is a hell of a perspective on that.
Colin, that's
really
a great
is.
way to wind up that
Yeah,
segment, too.
Yeah, thanks for sending that in.
But you stop and think about it. I mean, some of the biggest things that the Supreme Court could have listened to facing our country was all the lawsuits about the election fraud. They wouldn't even hear the evidence, and evidently there was quite a bit of evidence.
Oh, yeah.
But they elected not to do that. So
What are they going to do
the question
anyway?
one is, why would they not listen to it? And two, why didn't they take some kind of action and make a judgment for or against? It don't matter. It don't matter.
Well, yeah.
They just needed to do that.
Do your damn job, you know?
Bingo.
You're there for a reason. Do your job.
Bingo. I couldn't agree more.
It's crazy.
But it was some great answers to that question.
Yeah, it
Thank you,
was.
Sherry, for the question.
Yeah, thank you, Ms. Rizlipka.
We're going to take a quick break because when we come back, we're going to be talking about, Pappy, the differences in raising a child today as opposed to when you and I grew up. And a lot of you folks out there.
Ooh.
But first of all, let's take this brief time out, and we'll be back right after this.
Yeah.
When selling your home, you could take all the photos yourself. But if you have a RE/MAX agent,
Guys, how are you?
they know a team of experts who will get the job done right. When selling.
And welcome back to the Grandpa and Pappy Show.
Yeah.
We just got through talking about why the Supreme Court is not upholding the laws of our country
Yes, we did.
like we should, or like they should, I should say. And quite a few good comments from all of you.
Yeah, happy Friday.
But we're going to switch gears a little bit and talk about something near and dear to our hearts that everybody talks about these days, and that is, what is the difference in raising a child today as opposed to when you grew up? As far as I know, Pappy, neither you nor I grew up to be axe murderers from getting our butts tore up.
Well,
Or as your favorite saying is, your dad would go, doink!
you know, the thought crossed my mind when that leather hit my ass. but he was directed towards the guy that was slinging the leather.
And it's
He could make you dance. You know, there's a huge difference in the way children.
I
are
would have
raised
given
these
anything to
days.
meet your dad. I really would have.
He
God
was
rest
like-
his soul.
Yeah, man, I bet you he would eat this show up.
Oh, yeah,
about opinions
absolutely.
and comments. Yeah.
So what is the difference in raising a child today opposed to when you grew up? Well, let's take a look at what some of the comments were that you guys sent in to us. Jerry Blum, our general at the field office,
Yeah.
said, when I grew up, you minded your parents. Nowadays, the parents are minding the kids.
Ain't it so?
Marla Purley said the difference to her is that there was a lot of ass whooping.
Well, just as I did my children before me, and you know all three of my boys
Yeah, I do.
quite well. The difference is then it was needed. Now I'd be scared to death to approach them with it.
As big as they are.
That's a big boys.
Well, they're all grown up and responsible now.
Yeah,
So.
they're good guys, all three of them. Yeah, my little butt monkeys. Marcia Starkey said, we felt safer and we had somewhat of a common patriotism. We were taught more about God. Shirley Shifton said, boy, that is so true. We were taught manners and respect. and there'll be hell to pay if we didn't.
And that's a very true
I've heard that statement too. There'll be hell to pay if you do.
Now, there was a couple of folks that kind of got into it with each other.
Yeah, I saw that.
Answering this. And once again, Pappy and I want to tell you, we enjoy when you have different opinions. But let's keep it respectful.
Yeah.
No name calling.
Yeah.
Please, because
we all have the same rights. I mean,
we have the same rights, and that's what this show is all about.
Supposedly,
is making sure that your voice is heard,
Yep.
whether you agree with Pappy and I or a lot of our viewers or not. It doesn't matter. We want to make sure that your voice, your First Amendment rights, are withheld or are not withheld from you or from the public, so that you can make sure that your opinions are heard and not cut off.
It's all about getting the silent majority to speak up.
It is.
Here's one platform you can do that on.
That's exactly correct.
Yeah, and we love it. We read them all, we hear them all, and we see
We
them
may
all.
not agree with them, but we read them.
Yeah.
Hey, we respect your opinion.
I'm thinking about making up some of those laws, man.
And there you go.
Yeah.
Stephanie Williams says, growing up, we had 2-parent households. We went to church every week, were raised with respect, treated our fellow man with kindness, and had dignity.
Oh, yeah.
Today, children are raised in split-up families, are not taught about God, and society tells them they don't have to respect others or to be kind.
Well, and you can bet your
Stephanie, that's
you can bet your last
smart.
dollar that the majority of people that have that issue with children were usually treated the same way in some respect or another by their parents. So, I mean, you are what you begat to be, you know. Did that make sense?
Yeah, and you know,
It starts at home is what I'm trying
I think
to
it
say.
all started with the hippie generation.
What you talking about, man?
The hippie generation, all love, peace, no war, all this stuff, you know, everything is okay with them. They didn't discipline their children. So therefore, their children are not disciplining their children.
Well, that's where I disagree with you, mi amigo. I grew up in that generation just as you did.
Yeah.
And,
My parents didn't.
oh, neither did DeWitt or Natalie. Trust me, he was a Lubbock City cop. So.
Oh, boy.
And
That's
a deacon
that's
of
even
the,
worse, man.
And a deacon of the East Side by God Church in Lubbock, Texas, and a master mason. So yeah.
Yeah, my dad was not a cop, but he knew all the cops, and they knew where I was, and he did at all times because they would tell him.
Yeah.
I only lied once, got my ass whipped bad.
I lied a lot of times.
I never did
Keep
again.
from getting that strapping on my butt, but I made damn sure I concocted a good one when I did because I knew I was going to be talking. It was one of those, go in there and sit on the edge of bed. I'll be in there in a little bit.
I'll be there shortly.
About an hour later, he'd come in there swinging a belt, and I'm going, God. And I've since found out, Mom said, well, he needed that time to cool down. You did not want him to follow you to that room.
Ooh.
Ow.
Yeah.
Anyway, that's the way, it was in the Terry household
Well,
when I was
there you
growing up.
go.
Yeah. Where are we here?
Chris.
Chris Schonberg said, when we grew up, we were taught right from wrong. Russell Curlidge said there were no participation trophies. We got our butts whipped in school and said yes, sir, and no, sir, and yes, ma'am, and no, ma'am. We respected our elders and helped our neighbors. And I'd like to toss in a side note. His daddy, Uncle Lou, was one of them tall, hillbilly-looking dudes. He got a hold of my butt one time. Russell and I, we were up in Cheyenne, Wyoming, and on vacation, and I can't remember
Wasn't pleasant,
I can't remember what atrocity we created, but I'm sure we were guilty as hell of
it. Yeah, no kidding.
Yeah.
Well, Shirley Mills said, I agree with Chris.
Yeah.
I knew better than to talk back to my parents or any adult for that matter. I got my butt paddled when I needed it. Parents today are afraid to punish their kids for fear of being arrested. There is no discipline at home or at the schools. I was also taught to respect law enforcement officials. Sue Gunner said, I absolutely agree with that. There you go.
This brings back so many memories at last. That's half my family I grew up with. Mike Tanner told us there were no electronics, no phones, and we played outside till the street lights came on.
Bingo.
We rode bikes everywhere and watched Red Skelton and Jack Benny. By God.
There you are.
We almost never watched TV during the day unless it rained.
And that's a fact. You didn't.
Yeah,
You
get
stayed
your-
outside all
Get
day.
your butt out there and play, or they'd find something for you to do.
That's
know?
why kids today have no imagination.
Oh, man.
You know, we didn't have all this fancy stuff, games and all this stuff on computers. We went out and made our own fun.
My God,
You know?
I had a Paladin holster set.
Oh, there you go. Do-do-do-do.
Nobody messed with me.
That's it. Sherry Briggs Cohen said, "It is everything. No teaching of anything, except they should have their own way and everything is theirs to have."
Yeah.
Carol Purvis Karofsky agreed, saying, "Yep, everything and anything."
And it's so.
Here's my buddy Mike. Hadn't heard from you in a while, Mike.
Oh, Mike Mackey, is that your partner?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. He says it's attitudes. I'll agree with that. Yes, technology has advanced and distractions are many, but the core values are still core values. If young parents collectively truly instilled the core values we grew up with, like being polite, respecting others, saying thank you, and simple manners, people might eventually turn things around for the better. Our whole world has gone crazy, and the repair starts at home.
Very well said.
That is very well said.
We're going to have Mike on the show here in the future.
Yeah.
He is really big into the model train organization
Oh, how cool.
around the world. I mean, it's elaborate stuff.
Does he have some serious tracks at the house?
He does that. He
I
does
bet
that.
he does.
But they're having a big convention coming up, I believe, during
That's
the
cool.
summer if COVID hadn't knocked them out like it did last year.
Oh, boy.
It's going to be here in Dallas, and we'd like to have Mike on to explain a little bit about that because I think every guy secretly wanted to have a train set.
I did, but mine was about 3 foot in diameter, the track. yeah, we'd love to have you aboard,
Yeah.
right? Anytime.
Sue Gunner agreed with Mike. She said, "We don't need to have a chip on our shoulders and dare someone to knock it off. Respect others as you expect them to respect you."
Well said.
Lisa Seeley chimed in to agree with Jerry Blum and Carol Purvis Karofsky.
And Sue Gunner, I saw her bloody my older brother's nose. Maybe it's my middle brother. Yeah. Bloodied his nose when we was kids for getting out of line.
Well, there you go.
To this day, she won't play. She'll knock the taste off your tongue, man. Penny Steele said, "When I grew up, we were taught manners. You showed respect to your elders and your teachers.
That is
You
correct.
did work around the house and yard and get in an allowance. Kids today are too soft. Everything is just handed to them."
That's a fact.
I had to earn my 50 cents from on that yard.
Yes, sir. Susan Saunders said, "Ass whippings and common sense. Kids these days have no common sense, and some parents don't discipline them as they did back in the day.
Right?
Some parents are working 2 or 3 jobs just to make ends meet, and that is part of the problem. Everything goes up while the pay stays the same."
Yeah.
Paul Edgar said, "Raising a child is what you make it." And Brad Cook said it's because of entitlement. Okay.
That word has a lot of meanings to it, don't it?
It does.
Yeah, I tell you, Susan
lot of
Saunders.
definitions.
Susan Saunders, no, she's another one that'll knock the taste off your tongue if you get out of line.
Yeah, she'll knock them taste buds right out of your
All
mouth.
right, slap you in the next week. Sue Gunner agreed with Susan and said, "I also believe that the younger generation wants to have the newest and the best stuff and then depend on the government to take care of their children's needs." Susan came back to say, "I completely agree. Just like the schools and teachers expected to raise their children for them, it drives me insane."
And finally, Sean Paul Riggs said, "Back in the day, you were lucky if you had TV with more than 4 channels.
Yeah.
Today, the government and left have full access to our kids. Nobody plays outside anymore. They're glued to gaming systems. Oh, and I almost forgot, parents don't raise children anymore.
Yeah.
I hate to say it, but the last real men were born in the 70s and mid-80s.
You know,
There you
I'm
go.
inclined to agree with you, Sean. I
There
really
you go.
am.
Yeah. Seeing some of these guys dressed in dresses and high heels, just too much for this old country boy
Lord
to
help
handle.
us.
Yes, sir.
Do you remember back in the days of the 4 channels, and holding the rabbit ears and the foil and all that crap on the antennas?
Absolutely.
At 10 o'clock, right before the news would come on, you'd hear this voice go, and the time, a big clock would pop up. It's 10 o'clock. Do you know where your children are?
I remember that very well. Very well.
Like my dad need to be reminded.
He's going to know where mine is, but that's just the way they did it back in the day.
Yeah.
Hey, let's take a look at some of the comments we got over the week to the Grandpa and Pappy show.
Yeah.
Wanda Lacindre went back and watched our show on Thomas Gabriel, the first grandson of the legendary Johnny Cash. She said, Thomas is a great performer. You can hear his grandfather's soul in his music. And Wanda, thank you for going on YouTube and posting that. And hopefully you made a good subscriber for us.
And as well as Thomas.
Yes.
What is it? Thomas official, ThomasGabriel.com?
I think
or
so.
ThomasGabrielofficial.com.
I believe that one, the latter one. Yeah.
Google and/or in your Facebook search Thomas Gabriel, and there'll be a whole mess of stuff pop up. And well, I'd like to send a love out to Thomas and his lovely bride to be.
Yes, sir.
Love to have you back on the show soon, bro.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, well, welcome aboard, Wanda. James Peterson commented on the show about Democrats changing their minds and completing the wall. He said maybe they will do the right thing for a change and get the damn thing completed. How many times have we said, I don't give a damn who builds it, just build it.
Just build the damn thing.
Slow the flow. Good Lord Almighty.
DeMarcus Fleming told us on YouTube that the $4 trillion jobs plan is an absolute sham. They are disguising it as an infrastructure bill, but even overspending on it would account for only about $680 billion.
That's all.
Can someone introduce a bill to keep the Democrats from spending our country into oblivion?
By God.
That's a good observation.
Yeah, good question.
Yeah, it's a great question.
Susan Moore told us that our show on racism really touched a nerve with her. She said, I have never been racist in my entire life, but if they don't quit ramming that stuff down our throats every single day, my attitude may change to become that way. There's a lot of people that feel that way.
That's a great point.
People need to stand up and say enough is enough.
Yep. And now it's all over TV. I mean, it's all over TV. The white man is terrible. They're white supremacists. They're all racist no matter what you do. It's just getting to the point where Special K and I, we some of our favorite programs, they've delved into this. We don't even watch them anymore. It makes me sick.
I'll get up and leave. I'll go out on the porch when the news comes on. I don't want to hear that crap. Yeah. I'm tired of it.
It's been a lot of fun this week, folks. If you have an idea or a suggestion or a comment for our show,
what do they
it's
do?
Very easy for you to do. Right over my shoulder here. Yep, right there. Grandpa and Pappy at gmail.com.
That's a good way.
Or
just simply hit us up on our show webpage, which can be found at www.grandpaandpappy.com. That's grandpa, the letter N, pappy.com, where you'll see that red button. Push it, subscribe. We'd love to have you guys on board. The more the merrier. We have fun.
Yeah, or you can go on to our Facebook group page. Grandpa and Pappy Facebook group page. Got a challenge for all those 2,000 plus members that are part of the Grandpa and Pappy Facebook page. Invite someone to join. We'd love to have them. We'd love to have their opinions too. It's been fun this week. Pappy and I are going to take a little weekend off and recuperate and everything. Hopefully we'll see you back on Monday. Good Lord willing, the creek don't rise.
By God.
As they say. And we always close our program by telling you to reach out, hug your kids,
please,
and let them know you love them.
Let them know we love them right here on the Grandpa and Pappy Show too, by God.
We sure do.
We do.
Until we see you on Monday.
All you guys.
Behave.
Don't behave.
Take care of each other.
Just try to behave. You don't have
God
to
bless you and God bless America.
Have a good weekend,
See you Monday. Bye-bye.